TSoM with Erika and Jeffrey.
Hi everyone, with us on set is TSoM's very own innovation consultant, Mr. Moayeri.
Hello everybody, thank you so much for having me here today.
So Ala, my first question is, what are the factors to increase the chance of acquiring study permit here in Canada?
So that's a great question to start with. So proper preparation of your application for the study permit is very important. You might have a very good profile. By good profile, I mean you have a high IELTS score or you have a good financial situation, but you are not aware how to submit the application properly. So this is very important. Make sure to select a program in Canada which is aligned with your education or career background. That's very important. Also, in respect to the preparation of your application, you have to convince the visa officer why you are coming to Canada and what it makes you to return to your home country. Okay, so this is very important. Also, financial aspect plays a very important role. In our platform, we have a full training that you will learn what are the minimum requirements if you want to come to Canada as a single student, or if you have a family who is accompanying you, what are the minimum requirements of your financial. IELTS requirement is also important. Having the English requirement is also important.
We need that as well.
So please be mindful that the internal language test that colleges are taking is not recognized by IRCC. So make sure to take the recognized English proficiency tests such as IELTS, TOEFL, PT, or recently Duolingo is acceptable, and I saw many students who take the Duolingo and then they got the approval.
When is the best time to apply if I want to join an intake?
Okay, so your question is about overseas students or the students who are already in Canada?
We can answer both. Like in my case, I'm here already. So what's my idea?
If you are here in Canada, the best time is to apply before 1 month before the expiry date of your study permit application.
Okay.
If you're outside, my recommendation is to apply as soon as you receive your letter of acceptance, because due to the pandemic, the processing time is longer than the usual time. So make sure to apply minimum 3 to 4 months before the start date. Yes.
Okay.
So Ala, I've heard about the Student Direct Stream or SDS. How does this work?
So if you are legally resident of 7 countries, the visa offices in 7 countries such as India, Philippines, Pakistan and more, they can apply to 2 pathways. The first one is the regular stream, and the other one is the student direct stream. I would always recommend for the students to apply to SDS if they meet the minimum requirement. So the minimum requirement is to have the IELTS 6 and also pay the first year tuition fee in advance. So if the students who are legally reside in those 7 countries, and then they can pay the tuition in advance for 1 year, I always recommend that they can apply to SDS.
So in relation to the first question, like if I go for the SDS, it gives me a higher chance of getting my visa approved.
It will be a faster process, and of course if the immigration officer sees that you already paid the first year tuition fee in advance to the college, I personally believe that it will give you a higher chance of receiving the approval for study permit.
That's a good.
Yeah, that's a
Good to
good
know.
point.
Yeah.
You have to prove that you're financially capable.
Exactly.
So Ala, I have my classmate from business management. She's a Nigerian. So I heard about the Nigeria Student Express.
Yes.
What does it mean?
Yeah, there is a stream called NSC. It's for the Nigerian students who legally reside or citizen of Nigeria. It's a pilot program, and they have to have an acceptance from a post-secondary program from one of the designated Canadian institutions, and also they have to meet the requirements.
What are the requirements?
Okay, there are 4 requirements. First of all, they have to apply online, and they have to be Nigerian citizen or legally reside in Nigeria. Also, they have to have a letter of acceptance for a post-secondary designated institution in bachelor, master, PhD, or postgraduate diploma. Also, they have to apply, while they are applying for this stream, they have to be outside of Canada. They have to have IELTS 6, and also they have to have my bank certificate with a sufficient amount of $30,000 in their bank account, which shows the transaction history for the last 6 months. So I personally believe if you are living in Nigeria or residing legally in Nigeria, you have to apply through NSC because it will be faster and it will increase the chance of approval.
Based on your experience, what are the most commonly reason that the application is being rejected by the visa officer?
So in initial study permit application, you have to prove to the visa officer and the immigration officer that you plan to come to here to Canada to study, and once you completed your program, you will return back to your home country. So you have to show sufficient financial amount in your bank statement or your financial supporter bank statement, and also ties to your home country, which include maybe the employment that you might have after your graduation. Also, level of English is very important. The program that you are selecting is also important. Make sure to select a program which is aligned with your career or educational background. And the study plan is also very important because many of the students, thousands of the students, they have the proof of English, they have the minimum financial requirement, but what makes them stand out among other candidates is the proper study plan. So study plan we always recommend that be short and then provide a good explanation that why they are coming for this specific college, for this specific program, and what are their plans after the graduation.
So Ala, my question now is very like at least to have like a clarity on other students, because there's like a misconception or different interpretation in terms of the study work permit versus the postgraduate work permit.
Yeah. So for the co-op work permit, co-op work permit is the mandatory part of your program, which is less than 50%. So you can find work with any employer as far as it is the mandatory part of your program. So you have to finish the co-op and then you will be graduated from the college. Postgraduate work permit, which is known as PGWP, is a different story. PGWP will allow the students who graduated from DLI institution, designated learning institution, to have this opportunity to get an open work permit, and it's not attached to any employer as well.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that I am soon to graduate, I'm using my co-op work permit, right?
Yeah.
And then what about after graduation, I plan to study to a public college, and I'm gonna get like 1 year course or 1 year program. And then after that, I want to do further studies. So I will take again another year, which will sum up to 2 years. So am I eligible for PGWP?
Yeah. So if you decided to go and study to Niagara College for 1 year, and then you will be eligible for 1 year postgraduate work permit. But if you do not want to use it, and then if you go and study another year, then you will be eligible for up to 3 years postgraduate work permit. But please be mindful that you only can apply one time for the postgraduate work permit.
Is there a gap, like it should be like after you finish one program 1 year, you should apply it, or
No, you have a maximum of 5 months. So once you finish your program, until the new intake for your new program, you can have a 5 months gap.
Okay, wow.
Yeah.
Hi everyone, we have another guest on set, the beautiful and stunning Dora, who offers free immigration services to Toronto School of Management.
Hi, Dora.
Hi, thank you so much for having me today.
Thank you for coming.
She's
My
very
pleasure.
pretty.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, thank you. So today, Ala already talked a little bit about the immigration services that we have been offering for the past little while. So I will just go more into depth with what are those. We are currently offering free services for TSoM students, as you may know. A couple of those would be one-on-one consultations for prospective students. So students who have already received their letter of acceptance and are willing to move with the immigration process can contact us. The first step to do that would be to create an account on our WorldGates profile. That can be done by sending us an email. Typically, the advisor will share information with the student, and then once the student has received their account and their login information, we will be approving their accounts. There is videos, training videos that we are offering for them,
Yeah, that's good.
where they can go and watch the overall study permit process. That should be very helpful because we are actually going into depth, listing out how the student can actually fill in the study permit application.
Okay.
So once the student has filled in the information and then they have further questions, they're more than welcome to always email us and we can book a one-on-one consultation. We typically have those consultations from
Good.
9 to 12 a.m. Toronto time, and so the student can get in touch with us through those. Yeah.
Okay, so Dora, recently we have a partnership with Niagara College Toronto. Does it include like your services?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is really recent, as you may know, but we are currently offering services for Niagara College students as well.
Okay, so that's going to be a big help for the prospective students all over the world and the current students we have for Toronto School of Management and those who want to apply to Niagara College Toronto.
And that's a very good point actually, because we are also offering services for students who are already registered with TSoM.
Oh.
It's not just for students who it's their first time applying for their study permit. As you may know, sometimes students want to renew their study permits or they have further questions. Sometimes issues with immigration come up, so we're more than happy to assist those students as well.
So you can assist us because we're planning to go with the Niagara
For
College
sure.
Toronto.
So if you have any questions, you have connections now.
Okay, so can you tell them the website and the email address where they can send their inquiries?
Absolutely. So you can send an email at inquiry@fca.ca, and in terms of the website, it's worldgates.ca.
Okay, so we're going to reflect it here.
Yeah.
So Dora, how will the students connect with you?
So they can reach out to us using our email, which is info@worldgates.ca.
So the email address is shown here. Before we end the show, we have a special announcement.
So every week we are actually sending our newsletter, which includes the latest immigration updates. If you guys want to tune in, register on our website at worldgates.ca. And also every month we have scheduled webinars, which you can go and watch us talk about immigration updates.
Thank you, Ala and Dora, for being with us on set. It's truly a great help for those international students who want to apply.
Yes, and a lot of information, right?
Yeah.
And with that, we have
Something
for
for
you
you
guys.
Thank you so
From
much.
Toronto School of Management.
What is it?
So you can open.
Wow! There's something inside.
Oh,
More.
there's something
Yeah.
inside?
Not just the water bottle.
Yeah.
Yay! You have a Starbucks card.
Thank
much.
you.
Yeah, so what you're gonna do, buy Starbucks, put it inside the
I love that.
Amazing. Thank you
Okay.
guys. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's it for today. No goodbyes.
Only see you later.
Only here at
MyTsoM.